Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures Podcast. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and with me is my wonderful co-host, as always, Courtney Bolin.
Hey, everybody!
We're back for another week of... we have a little bit of gaming-related news this week, amid just the giant apocalypse.
The country has been a little bit...
Yeah, it was a little difficult to find gaming news since much of the U.S. news cycle is being dominated by certain events right now. But we do have some, and we got a couple things in the deep dive, so...
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
We have a little bit.
Sorry. It's been a long 24 hours. So, if we seem a bit out of it, we might be.
I am.
So.
I am. I completely am.
But why don't we get right into our quickfire news?
Yes.
All right, so there was an announcement from Blizzard. World of Warcraft Shadowlands now has a release date of the 23rd, which is a little odd. That's a Monday. Normally stuff like that would drop on Tuesdays, but
maybe the holiday?
Maybe?
Because the Thanksgiving is on the 26th?
It's just patch days are always on Tuesdays, because that's when maintenance is. So
yeah.
And the Scourge event that we thought was going to happen in the pre-patch is on Tuesday, November 10th. So that is coming. And we know that happens because Sylvanas, in the opening cinematic, destroys an item known as the Crown of Domination, which is what contains the Lich King's essence. And thereby setting the stage for the entire expansion. So, yeah. So that is coming later this month.
Cool. Another thing coming later this month was something that was brought to my attention either yesterday or today. Ready Player 2, the sequel to Ernest Cline's books turned movie Ready Player 1, is actually coming out on November 24th. So right before Thanksgiving. Tuesday before.
I did see there was a very basic plot synopsis.
Some questions between if people are excited for it, and there's just going to be a lot of questions.
It's also because of the basic plot synopsis, which is
that's a thing that just kind of came out of nowhere. It was like, oh, hey, you get this too.
Kind of just a rehash of the first book. Like, it's not the same adventure, but it's literally like, so, you know, the initial adventure was like, oh, there's this Easter egg, and if you find the Easter egg, oh dear, then you get all these prizes and everything and stuff like that. And you have to solve clues to get the Easter egg. It seems to follow that same structure. So it's kind of just a rehash of Ready Player 1 with a new adventure. So there's that. As a reminder, The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 1 is out, and Episode 2 drops on Friday.
Okay, fun. Yeah, I still gotta catch up. Been a bit busy this weekend.
Courtney was making a weird face, hence the pausing.
Yeah, sorry. Discord was saying that it wasn't detecting anything from my mic. Discord doesn't like me tonight.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's definitely detecting my voice.
Okay.
Yeah. So, PlayStation 5 launches next week, and according to one website, there is a little bit of hope. Pre-orders for the system have been sold out for weeks, but at least at Target, if you want to brave the hungry crowds on November 12th, you might be able to find a PlayStation 5 but only if you order online. So I have a feeling that's going to be the buy online, pick up in store option. But, if past console launches are any real indication, you're going to want to be there first thing. So.
Well, I mean, if you order online, though, it's reserved for you.
Yes, but I mean, as soon as the reservations, I'm not sure when those are going to start being available to be made. I'm not sure when that's going to be able to be made. So I would keep an eye out. I would assume, honestly, Monday or that at midnight on the 12th. First thing that morning. So, but I'm not really sure how Target does their system. I haven't bought a console since I bought my Switch, so. And I bought that far after it had launched. So.
Okay.
But so there's some hope. Yes, there is some hope if you were not able to get the pre-order. That take a look at least at Target right now is what we know.
Yeah. So.
But
okay. And in the last bit of news, or maybe you might want to wait on picking up that PS5 because Cyberpunk 2077 delayed to December 10th. This is, I believe, the third time it's been delayed. And it seems that some of the developers didn't actually know that it was delayed. So, or at least some members of the dev team. So,
interesting.
Yeah, it has been delayed. This delay has caused other developers and publishers to reschedule when some of their games come out.
Yeah.
One particular note for me personally is Grinding Gear Games was going to release the next Path of Exile expansion on that date or like that week or whatever, and they decided nope, and they pushed it back a month.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is even weirder because that game's free to play. So
they still didn't want the competition.
Yeah.
You know?
So they largely rely on cosmetic sales and like inventory tab sale and like basically microtransactions.
As I say, microtransactions.
So if they're essentially launching a new league that day, I presume that they'd rather wait a month and give people time to play through Cyberpunk before releasing an expansion that they want people to sink 120 hours into and spend money.
Yeah. Yep.
From a microtransaction standpoint. So
makes sense.
Yeah. And that wraps up Quickfire News. As I said, it was kind of difficult to find stuff. It's just a lot of like speculation right now and a lot of fluff pieces. Consoles haven't come out yet.
Yep.
There's still not really a whole lot of info. I mean, or you might get stuff like Microsoft made a Series X fridge that they're going to give out as part of a contest, and they gave one to Snoop Dogg. There's just really weird stuff right now because the news cycle is not very gaming oriented at this time. So
no, not at all. Not at all. Not where we are.
So, let's get out of the kiddie pool and into the deep end with our deep dive. All right, so I put Mandalorian on the list here. We're going to keep this to non-spoilers because Courtney hasn't seen the episode yet. So just talking about it from and nothing that would spoil it. It's pretty good. It was a pretty good episode. So I was listening to Let's Talk About Star Wars, which is another podcast by Garrett Weinzierl, Tom Merritt, and Jenny Josephson. And the phrase a repilot was being thrown around by Jenny in particular, as she works in television. So
a repilot?
A repilot. So essentially, I think it might be because it's been so long that you have a pilot of a series to like pitch the series and get folks acquaintanced with the show and the characters and everything.
Yeah.
And so
it
this
kind of like
is kind of that a little bit. It's kind of ease us back into it because it's what, like a year? It's been a year,
so what you're saying is it's like the first month of when kids go back to school and the teachers are trying to be like, what do you remember?
A little bit. Okay. All
right.
But it's also to ease you back into it's kind of like, the first day of school. Even without the like, what do you remember? But just like, hey, here's how we get back into the swing of things.
It's like in college where the first class is always you go over the syllabus, you discuss remember guys, this is how you do school.
I wouldn't use college as an example. I'd use regular school as an example.
Okay. Well, no, I was wondering if it was because I was wondering if it but I was wondering if it was more of like is it the what do you remember and kind of get you remembering and jogged up to speed, or is it the laying out a few things like saying, hey, you might want to keep your eye out on this X, Y, or Z thing that happens because something's going to come with that. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Okay. I don't know how else to describe it then.
Nope.
It's looking backwards and reviewing versus looking forwards, and yes, there's a review, but there's also the like laying of breadcrumbs to say we're gonna follow this path.
I don't know, Courtney. You're just gonna have to watch the episode.
Okay.
Yeah. But so again, keeping this to non-spoilers. So one of the actors in the episode is Timothy Oliphant, who has the best last name, and is known for playing a character known as the Marshal in several television series, to the point that he's almost typecast at this point as like a joke.
The Marshal?
Yeah, so he was in Deadwood, he was in Justified, he was in something else. Hang on. But basically, the episode title is The Marshal, so he plays the Marshal.
That's pretty good. That's an interesting typecast too.
Fargo. So Fargo.
See,
Deadwood,
it's funny when you say Fargo.
Justified.
Like, my first thought does not go to the movie. My first thought goes to Fargo from Eureka.
He was in Fargo, the TV series.
Oh, still, my mind does not go that way. My mind goes to wonderful, little, extremely smart guy.
Yeah. So it's because of those. He's kind of like built this sort of persona as being like the sheriff, the marshal kind of a thing.
Yep.
So that was apparently a big Easter egg, and just a bit of a nod and a little bit of a joke. So, but otherwise, it's again. So it gets very into this sort of Western in space. Does a lot of Western tropes, but does them well. And we see both new and old locations in this episode. So,
all right,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it in my mind, it kind of makes up for a lot of the controversy surrounding the last 3 Star Wars movies in the Skywalker trilogy. And Solo to a certain extent. Of just like this feels like non-controversial Star Wars. Like everyone's kind of like, this is what Star Wars is supposed to feel like, as opposed to a lot of arguing as to whether or not something is really Star Wars or not. Which I think is a ludicrous thing, but it does kind of have that old school Star Wars feel to it. So
good.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get that in tonight. I've been doing some self-care and trying to stay off of social media and watching Warehouse 13 instead.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And for those that don't know,
Yeah.
this is on Disney Plus exclusively, so you have to have Disney Plus to get it.
Mhm.
So, but very good. So yeah, and because it's on Disney Plus, it probably, I think it's in the because it's TV, it would be like PG-13
Mhm.
range. Because it does
T for
get, it gets a little
yeah.
violent. So because he's a bounty hunter. So yeah.
Mhm.
So next up on the deep dive, I want to talk about Habitica, which
Yeah, what
is
is that?
so Habitica is a productivity app, but
Okay.
I saw it. So I had used it years back, but I saw it again from, it was a list of like mindfulness and mental health apps from, I can't remember the name of the organization. There's basically an
Nami?
organization right now that's promoting mental health awareness type stuff for like streamers specifically.
Oh, cool.
Um, so they have a list of like apps and services that they recommend, and that was on there. So, and I've been trying to do a lot more mental health stuff lately for myself. So I was like, oh well, maybe I should get back into it. So what Habitica um, is it's an app where you set up different categories of tasks, and you're given and you create a little pixel RPG character with 4 stats. You have strength, you have constitution, you have intelligence, and you have perception. And you additionally you have 3 different scores. You've got HP, you've got experience, and you have mana. You also have gold, which you use to buy stuff. There are also gems, which are used to buy premium things, like most mobile apps. So the different categories of tasks are, you have to-dos, which are one-time sort of big tasks that you have on your to-do list. So, it's like a sort of longer-term goal, and really just something that like you complete it once and it's done. You have your dailies, which are tasks that you do on a regular basis, that you can do once a day, once a week, a couple times a week, but they're regularly set. And you do them on a
So
schedule.
it's like remember to do your load of laundry
Yes.
on Wednesday mornings.
So
Like
doing laundry, doing the dishes, water the
Mhm.
plants. It could be go for a walk. It could be cooking a walk. It could be, I don't know. I ran out of walk puns. So, and then habits are interesting in that you can either have them be positive, negative, or both, and have both positive and negative aspects. And what those are is you can do them any number of times. So it's something where repeatable tasks that you either want to encourage or discourage.
Mhm.
So to talk about some of the ones
So
that I
like
have set up.
Mhm.
So I have one, for example, where it's every time I have a serving of fruits or vegetables, I click like the good side. I click the positive side. Whereas
Mhm.
every time that I eat junk food, I click the negative side.
Mhm.
And what happens is when you click the positive side, or when you do a daily or you finish a to-do task, you regain health, you get experience, you regain mana, and you get gold. Wait, I don't think you get mana. I think you get gold and you deal damage to any boss monsters that you're fighting. And you fight these boss monsters by completing your tasks. So the more tasks you complete, the more damage you deal to the boss. And then when you beat the boss, you get all sorts of rewards and everything. So it's also how you level up.
So I'm pretty sure I'm looking at this correctly. It's the icon is a griffin in
Yeah.
like a purple square or something. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm seeing that you can have pets and mounts.
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, this is something that I think I had no idea about what this was.
Yep.
Because I was waiting for you to tell me about it tonight.
Yeah. So so you can have pets and mounts. Those are mostly cosmetic. You can have different equipment.
And?
You can have cosmetic equipment. You can also, so you can set up, there are like in-game rewards that you can get with gold. You can also set up custom rewards. So for example, I have custom rewards where I can ignore that negative effect of, that eating junk food. So that way, like, if I want to treat myself, I can make sure that I have enough in-game gold that I spend it, and then I don't have to mark it off and take damage from, doing a negative thing.
Okay. All right.
The gems are mostly for completing challenges, which are like to-dos that are set up by the community. So, for example, I have 2 of them, where one of them is like world building for NaNoWriMo. Another one is like a sort of tidying a challenge, where it's to do a minimalist one, where it's like you spend 5 minutes each day, you pick an area of, your house, your apartment, your living space, and like, the 5 minutes you clean that and organize that space. So, there's another one where
doable.
It's mindfulness. So it's just reflecting on how the day went, on your ups and downs, reaching out to people, taking recovery time after there's a setback. So if something happens,
self-care.
It's basically self-care. So there's a lot of that. You can team up with other people in parties. You can set up guilds.
It's remembering to hug your plushie very tight because they love you.
Possibly. This is a little more open-ended than that.
Yeah, but this looks really, really cool. I very much...
So you can do it for productivity, you can do it for mental health, you can do it for learning skills or whatever. The idea is that it takes your tasks and it gamifies them so that you get experience points, you learn skills to fight boss monsters, you get rewards in the form of, either this cosmetic gear or pets or mounts, and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun. It takes, now looking at, oh, well, I should eat healthier because it's good for me, and adding a layer of, well, if I do that, I can squeeze out this extra damage on the boss, or, I really want to grind some gold, so what are some tasks that I can get done? Great, I can clean the kitchen, I can do the dishes, I can eat an apple, I can do all that and grind some gold. What are some things that I can avoid? Oh, I don't want to take damage, so I need to go to bed before 12:30. That kind of a thing.
That's really,
so one of the things to keep in mind is that it's largely set up by you. So there are plenty of like communities on their website that like can help you set up goals and everything. There are also challenges where you can sign up for it without being a member of that guild or community or whatever. They're all public, so you can decide, oh, this looks interesting, I want to participate in this. All you have to do is sign up, and it will automatically add some stuff to your task lists.
Okay.
So, and it's free. So what they do is you can like get a subscription, which allows you to buy certain items, or you get certain cosmetic items and gear for free. But largely you do these like big challenges, and that's how you get gems, which you use, or you fight bosses, which you get gems. And those you use to like buy, really interesting cosmetic stuff.
Huh.
Like background.
I don't know. It has a 4.3 in the Google's Play Store.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's been around for a long time.
I literally just downloaded it as we've been talking. And I'm probably going to futz around with this a little bit tonight. Now, because I know that you had made a post about it, Sean. Now, is this something that like now that like I'm gonna sign up and stuff, or get like started with it, because it says it has that social aspect. So is this something where like I can cheer you on to like, hey, let's do a bunch of
It
little
would
things
be that.
together?
So part of it is, I could send you a party invite. You could become a member of our party,
Mm-hmm.
and so in the future, when fighting a boss monster, is all of your party's tasks completed count towards progress toward defeating that monster. So
Okay.
that's where the accountability comes in. It's also, if you don't deal enough damage, in the form of, if you have daily tasks that you don't do, they deal damage to you at the next day. Right. So
Okay.
if you decide, well, I'm not gonna, I was supposed to exercise today, I'm not gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
Without using any special abilities, you would end up taking damage the next day if you just let that slide. So the idea is that it's your character taking damage is a way to force you into, or not for it, but persuade you to not put off some of those tasks that you told yourself that you were going to do. If you think that you are going to be taking an extended break and you don't want to kind of screw over your
Lose,
party,
yeah,
there
like
is an
lose
inn
progress and stuff.
that you can
Mm-hmm.
go rest at the inn, and what it'll do is it'll pause your character, so that way you won't take any damage from unused dailies and everything.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's really
So
cool.
yeah.
I'm actually really genuinely excited to use this. This sounds really cool. And I think that being a gamer is a lot of that. Like, I want to get on today and do my dailies. I want
Yeah.
like you make those choices anyway, so it's kind of like part of that. I mean, even I have daily stuff in my card games that I
Mm-hmm.
play. Daily challenges. Yep, let's go do my dailies, and then I can get on with my day. Um, I really like this app as a way to bring that fun to getting done what you have to, and that little, yes, it may be just a digital little reward, but it's a reward process. I really like it, and I'm really excited to start looking into it a little bit more and playing
Yeah.
around with the app. So
Yeah. It's one of the things where I kind of fell off the wagon a bit with it, because there wasn't a lot of things left for me to unlock.
mhm.
Was I had leveled up to the point where I unlocked all the skills. Like, your character only gets up to 4 skills, and largely what they
Yeah.
have to do is dealing like bonus. So for me, um, there are only 4 classes. It's in the 4 basic ones. So my character's a rogue, which focuses a
Mhm.
lot on gold acquisition. And so
Okay.
it's a lot of, you use a skill, you target a task, and it's like you might get gold as if you had completed that task. Or you might deal damage, get experience, and gold as if you completed that task. Uh,
Mm.
so it's things like that. Each class typically gets a buff that they apply, um, as well as abilities to interact with boss encounters.
Oh.
So I think it's warrior is strength, wizard is intelligence, I think it's cleric is constitution, and rogue is
Mhm.
perception. I could be wrong.
Okay.
It's been like
It's around there. Yeah.
5 or 6 years since I last really got into it before
Mhm. Oh wow, so this has been
installing it
around
this
for a
week.
long, long time.
It's been around for quite some time. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
I think it's really cool though. I think it's great. I'm
Yeah.
really excited to, I want to say start playing, but that's not the right.
Yeah. It's. I mean, well, you play by doing stuff that you need to do.
I play by brushing my teeth.
I mean, if that's morning ritual, that's self care. That's
Mhm.
something that if you need that extra oomph and that extra reminder to make sure that you do it every day, that's a thing.
You know, it's not silly if it works.
That's right.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, to give an example of some of the stuff that I have. So it's for habits, I have hydration. So on the positive side, drinking water, or at the very least Crystal Light. On the negative side, drinking soda. Gourmand, which is the eating a serving of fruits and vegetables or eating a serving of junk food. They're staying up past 12:30. That's only negative. Cleaning or
Now, do you
tidying a
get to
single
set
room.
that time?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and so that's just so what it is it's you pick the title, any notes. So that's just the notes is stay out past 12:30. You can control whether it's positive, negative, or both. The difficulty. So if this is something that you have a great deal of difficulty to do, you can set it to hard, which that means when you do it, you get more rewards.
Okay.
Reset streak. So the more times you do it in a row, the better rewards you get.
Yep.
There is a setting where so there's a toggle setting where you can either, when you level up, allocate stat points yourself, or you can set up your tasks to be for a particular stat. Set up your tasks so that they give you progress toward a certain stat. So that for example, if you do a bunch of if you set up a bunch of fitness training stuff to improve either, strength or constitution, we'll say strength for simplicity's sake. So let's say that you do a bunch of weight training tasks, then to build up strength. And then you have do the daily crossword puzzle to build up intelligence. Doing those will give you progress toward those stats specifically, and it will auto allocate those points for you.
Okay.
So that's if you want to do things a little more organically. I manually allocate the stat points because I want a power game. That's how I roll. At least with this. But it's also, I don't have a lot of tasks that are really spread out. So it's a lot of mine are intelligence or constitution based. So, and then any tags, you can add tags to your tasks.
Okay. Heat's just kicking on. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? Okay. Oh, yep. Okay, yep. We figured out where that is. Okay, yep, we're good. It's not random things creaking, it's just the pipes.
It might also be my chair.
No, it's the heat. I hear the radiators.
Okay.
Hissing now. Yes.
So yeah, that's free. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. You get, it's just a little simple pixel character. It's not, any kind of complicated pixel art going on there. But the equipment that you get does show up, so you can customize your character a little bit with that. And as we said, there's mounts, pets, and backgrounds.
One thing actually that I found was very, very interesting when I all I've done, I downloaded it and I set up my character real quick, and that gives you the opportunity to have a wheelchair in game.
It does.
I think that's really cool. That's something that you don't usually think about. It's your starting accessories are a flower in your hair if you choose to have one, glasses if you choose to have them, and a wheelchair if you need that or choose to have that. And I'm like, that is just, that's awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
So yeah. I will say it might be some time, as I'm currently trying to solo a boss, because somebody is still logged in the game and doesn't respond to any of my requests. we're in the same party and is still pending an invite on that boss fight. So I decided to go ahead with it. So maybe if you're in as well, we'll convince her to pick the game back up and do some stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is available either on iOS, Android, or you can do it as just a web. I don't want to call it a web app, but you can play on the website. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's really cool. I really like that, actually, because not everybody has a cell phone. Still in this day and age. Are you sure,
Courtney? Because
yes.
Because according to Blizzard, I mean, don't you all have phones?
No, not everybody has a phone. Not everybody has a smartphone. You know?
You mean you don't all have phones? So, all right. With that, I think it's time for Quest Log. So Quest Log is where we talk about what has been on our to-do list and what we got done and what we're going to do. So, Courtney, would you like to go first?
Yes. So I gave Sham the update last week before that I was just a couple episodes left for High Rollers, and I was able to catch up. I am fully caught up and current on the High Rollers campaign for D&D, if anybody for anybody that's unfamiliar. And so now I am fully caught up. I'm never going to actually probably watch live because they film it on Sundays in the UK. And I'm usually doing other things on Sundays, and time differences are weird. But no, I'm very happy to finally be caught up. I was behind for a while. I wanted to add another goal because they also have a Curse of Strahd game going on.
They do.
Which I also want to watch. And it's not like a mini campaign type of deal like they did, I think it was Rogue's Gambit or something.
Yeah.
That was just everybody had at least one level in Rogue, which was a fun little mini series to watch. Mm-hmm. And it was another one that was like a little offshoot of Lightfall. They did like a hell.
It was Descent into Avernus.
Yeah.
Tie-in with Lightfall.
Yes. So those I've already caught up on. So really, I want to watch Strahd too because I need more D&D in my life, and I need more Mark Humes. And
you want to watch Strahd? Bleh.
Yeah. So goal completed, 1 out of 1 from last week. Really, which was just kind of catch up. This week, my goal is to start Strahd with High Rollers, as well as complete the next step in Pokemon Shield Crown Tundra DLC. I completed the first adventure last night. I want to actually clarify that. I did like 90%. I did not capture... I didn't get the Pokemon yet.
Okay.
But he's just sitting there waiting for me. So I'm considering that pretty much completed. Because I can get a Corviknight to just fly me there and just say, okay, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
And so now I get to go on to the Titans. And try and kind of work on a few of those for the next adventure.
So you can only get 4 out of the 5 Titans.
Why?
Because one of the Titans is not version exclusive, but you have to make a choice, and you are locked out of the other choice.
Oh, okay.
So it might as well be version exclusive. It's just that you get to choose which one.
Okay. So you tell me which one that you got. Or
I did text. So I picked the electric type one.
Okay.
So if you want to pick the dragon type one.
that was what I would have chosen anyway.
Okay, I
To
figured.
be honest.
And if you don't want to keep it when you're done playing,
I'll just trade
since
it
we
over
have
to
that
you.
arrangement already with your Zamazenta.
Yes, I will just trade it over to you. Yep,
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
good with that. You're welcome.
But I think the other thing is that you need all 5 in order to get Regigigas.
Interesting.
But I already have Regigigas, so it's whatever. But that's why.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it when I get to mine.
I'm more interested in the birdies. I'm more interested in birdies anyway.
Yeah, they're all right.
I like birdies.
They're all right. I'm gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah. So that's my goals for the next week. What about you, Sean? I see you've got some completed.
All right, so I completed 2 out of 2. I'm gonna start with my upcoming goals for this week, though. So I'm gonna color Chapter 1 comic. I'm gonna continue doing that. I'm also going to create an item icon for my RPG Maker project. So this is a tie-in for Habitica. Is one of my daily goals is to do art. Just if it's make progress on coloring a comic, if it's doing a sketch, if it's doing a comic, all counts. If it's starting on a comic, as long as I work on it for, we'll say an hour, it counts. So I'm going to do those 2. And I say this because, so my goals last week were color a Chapter 1 comic, which I did, and finish the Crown Tundra DLC. Now, I'm marking it as complete because I finished all of the adventures, and so now it is taking me to the Dynamax adventures where I have to catch some kind of Ultra Beast. And
the cave stupidity.
Yeah. And the Dynamax adventures are garbage. They are garbage. I ranted about this last week. They're bad. And it's even worse when you're trying to do them without other players, which I've been trying to do. So I don't really
without randos on the internet.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to do it with AI players. I was reading your update on the quest log.
Oh, yeah.
So doing it with AI allies.
Yep.
And it's impossible.
Yeah.
You have a low chance of actually completing it. And as I mentioned last week, it's as if with this, aspect of the DLC, it's like Game Freak saw all these roguelike games being produced and said, hey, we should do one too, and then didn't actually put anything that makes roguelikes interesting into that thing and only took the boring parts and made it so that you lose constantly. With no progression, with no sense of progression aside from you get 3 of these weird crystal shard things, when really the things that people want are like 200 shards. And it's like, I'm not running Dynamax Adventures that many times. I don't care. I have all these Pokemon already. I
ran a few at the beginning, and I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not happy with this. No, thank you.
Maybe it's better if you can get 3 of your friends together.
Mm-hmm.
But folks, you can hear my full thoughts in the matter from last week's episode on just ideas that they could have made it better and why this falls short.
Yeah.
And ultimately why I think Crown Tundra, the whole DLC is just not worth it. But also
Isle of Armor's still good though.
What's that?
Like I thought Isle of Armor was great, but I
didn't think that was worth it either. That ended up falling short of my expectations. It just, it was at the point where if you don't have those Pokemon, great. You have another open wild area to play in and catch them. For me, it was crowded with Pokemon that I already had, that I already caught, like at the start of Sword and Shield. Or it was just full of Pokemon that I already had and had already built up like for competitive. So all I'm doing is basically running around dodging Pokemon, trying to get story quests done.
Looking
So
for shinies on the ground near the trees.
For me, it was kind of a waste.
Yeah.
Really, the big thing was essentially paying the cost of the DLC to have access to all of the older Pokemon that they put in those expansions. To be able to import them into the game. So, meh. As far as the legendary birds, frustrating. So, because it's now quote-unquote open world, they are roaming around in the wild areas, or the areas that they appear in. So, first off, you have to find them and then run into them. Then you have the task of, because they're the legendary birds, be prepared to bring about, 50 Ultra Balls.
Got it.
You'll probably want some Timer Balls.
Got it.
There as well. Because you will burn through a lot of them.
Can do.
Yeah. And also make sure that your typing's good, so that you can not waste turns having to switch Pokemon in and out to throw all those Pokeballs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very frustrating.
Good to know.
Especially considering that their typing does not necessarily match the type of attacks they use. So Articuno, for instance, is psychic and flying, but uses ice type attacks.
I'm like, but he uses ice type.
Yes. So Galarian Articuno is psychic and flying, has ice type attacks. Galarian Zapdos is fighting and flying, but uses electric type attacks. Galarian Moltres is dark and flying and has fire type attacks. Yes. So, yeah.
Like the angel talking to God meme of looking at a human, no, you gave a perfectly good monkey anxiety. You messed it up, man. This is what they've done. Why did they do that? No. That just doesn't. That makes.
Well, the idea is these are Galarian forms, so they mix it up.
Yeah. So, do they? Do you know?
It should be noted that it actually does a triangle with them, unlike the original trio.
Mm-hmm.
So it's psychic beats fighting, fighting beats dark, dark beats psychic.
Mm-hmm. Do you happen to know what their spawn rate is, or is it pretty obvious where they are?
They're guaranteed. It's
okay.
You go to a specific area, and you'll be told what area they go in.
Okay.
I'm
just wondering
area
if this
and
is
you'll hear their cry. You just have to find them.
Okay.
They have certain paths that they follow.
Okay. I was wondering, is this going to be a grind like me trying to find a Ponyta for too long?
No, they appear.
With a 4% spawn rate.
They're fast, so you have to chase after them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zoom zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, Zapdos is tricky. Because Zapdos is a roadrunner in this game.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, fast. Gotta go fast. Make sure that your bike is fully upgraded.
Okay.
You're gonna need it. So.
And
that your reflexes are pretty good. Because you'll be dodging other Pokemon trying to catch them.
So, let me ask you something. Because I haven't seen one yet. Is there an actual place to swap out Pokemon in this entire expansion pack, or is it you still have to go back to there isn't a Poke Center or anything like that?
You can swap out Pokemon from the menu, Courtney. Have you played
the ones in your party?
Game? No. Have you played through the entire game not knowing that?
No.
You go to Pokemon, and when you have your Pokemon list up, you push the R button, and you can freely swap any Pokemon in your party with box Pokemon, and you can access your box directly from the menu.
I did not realize that.
Oh my god.
I really didn't. I'm so used to.
Smite!
Thank you. Yep, saw that coming.
Oh, if I had the sound clip of you know the meme where they have, I don't remember, I don't know what nation's TV station this appeared on, but it's the guy doing the interview and he's like and just like doing like the hilarious laughing like that.
No, I'm so used
as
to
Driz points
older
out, there's
versions.
an event where Sonya teaches you to swap from the box.
I'm probably just completely glazed over it. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna talk to me about all these things. Okay, cool, bye.
It involved a redhead, therefore Courtney was not paying attention to what was happening and focusing on the character.
That. That, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But yeah. So I don't actually know if I completed it, but I'm marking it as done, because I am done. I mean, if I am so inclined, I'll go in to continue catching Pokemon, but I'm pretty sure I've caught all the ones that I can actually get in the game. And instead, I'm going to wait for Pokemon Go to be accessible from Pokemon Home, and I will just transfer the ones I need from that. So, yeah.
There you
go. Yeah, I'd rather just play other stuff at this point. So, yerp. Oh, you know what? Here's something that we didn't mention in the quickfire news, is I saw, I don't know what it is. It's some kind of League of Legends thing. There was like a trailer. They're doing all these more music video trailer type stuff where so the Courtney's gonna just roll her eyes at my descriptions or whatever, because I don't know any of the League of Legends characters. Some kind of like pink-haired, kind of spooky, curse-looking lady with a gun.
Seraphine
was basically like jumping through portals. Oh, I think it's for like a Rift event mode type thing. Basically jumped through, grabbed some blonde, sort of totally not Jaina Proudmoore looking mage. Grabbed her through a portal. Then they cut to, there was like a big robot dude who's like playing catch in an alley. Grabbed him, grabbed somebody else, and then, you know, threw them into a match. The robot dude had a Yordle. I know that much. The Yordle like threw mushrooms at people. But yeah. And the song it was put to was You Really Got Me. Yeah. So, I don't know. It was advertised some new mode that's coming out. I don't know. It just showed up on my YouTube feed a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm looking at a article. There we go. Words. I have them. From Hypebeast, and it's the Ruined King, a League of Legends story. It is going to be an upcoming RPG, and okay, so it is.
Though. This had something to do with, like, it was League of Legends, but it had something to do with Rift portals.
Interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it might just be a weird game mode.
I'm like, because this is another game that's coming to platforms.
Yeah, no, it's not that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Just when you get the chance, look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. That's gonna be interesting.
So.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Well, I think that's actually gonna wrap things up for the evening. Next week, consoles will not be out yet.
Nope.
So we won't have any of the crazy sales data for that. So yeah. But we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So, thank you everyone for joining us. If you would like to hear more content from 8-Bit Adventures, or see more content from 8-Bit Adventures, be sure to check out 8-bitadventures.com. That is going to be the go-to place to find 8-Bit Adventures stuff, because I am trying to wean myself off of Facebook and Twitter and doing a pretty good job at it. So over there you can find comics, artwork, podcasts, streams, and more. I am currently working on getting my 8-Bit Adventures play streams back onto YouTube for archival purposes. It's just because of the last one that happened, I had to split it, and therefore have to edit it in Premiere, which means that the files are gigantic and take like 4 hours to render. So it's taking a little while.
Yeah.
So moral of the story is, in the future, if I swap to a different game midstream, I will shut down the stream and reboot the stream so that there's 2 streams for me to export, because that takes a lot less time.
Yeah, probably you were thinking at League of Legends Wild Rift. Does that sound right?
That's what it is. Yes.
That is, that's coming to mobile and console 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, 8bitadventures.com. If you want to help support that content, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/8bitadventures. I'm going to throw a link in chat here. Over there, you can find, so patrons get early access to comics, they get exclusive access to behind-the-scenes content, they get a discount on merch, and more. Our opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. And with that, we're done. So check back here at twitch.tv/8bitadventures Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be playing the Super Mario 64. So we'll do a little Bomb Battlefield on that. So if you want some retro gaming, come back right here.
Nice.
And as always, have fun, everyone. Happy gaming. And enjoy your pie cake.
Bye, everybody.